Okay, welcome everybody to this live webinar on how you can complement your HPE software with IT alerting for a faster incident response and resolution. My name is René. At Derdack, I'm responsible for the research and development team. So here you can actually see our backend user interface. It's our web portal. Yeah, it's Derdack Enterprise Alerts portal. And then in the same browser, you can see I have opened a lot of other systems user interfaces as well. We can see Operations Manager I here, so HPE Opsman I. I have to admit it's not the very most recent version of that product that I have deployed in my lab here. But yeah, we will actually see an incident here soon, and then we can track it. In the mobile app that I will show you as well. I have opened orchestrations here, so HPE Operations Orchestration. We will actually be able to track some flows here that I trigger from the mobile app. And in the last part, when I explain how I set my demo up that you will see in a few minutes, then I will also log into the HPOO system and show you my flows and how I actually orchestrated my flows, so to give you an idea of what's possible and how I develop the flows that I use remotely. I have a network node manager open here just in case we want to work with network related incidents here as well in my demo environment, and I have a service manager open as well for incident tracking and CMDB and IDSM related activities that we can also enable perform on the mobile app, which is the perfect keyword for our mobile app. This is the last piece of software that I wanted to introduce you to, the Derdack mobile app for remote incident response and resolution. We can see the dashboard here. And when I simulate an incident in my environment, then we will see how I use it actually to acknowledge this incident remotely and how I can collaborate with people and how I can neutralize the problem by executing remedial actions or remote actions, how we call them. What I would like to do first is create a sample incident in my environment. And the idea is to let Operations Manager I detect a service failure. So here I have a policy active, which is watching a Windows process, a Windows service, which is the print spooler service on that machine here that is monitored. And what I will do first, using my mobile app here, is I will stop that service by executing a dashboard action. So you can see here on the dashboard we have the ability to actually collaborate with people instantly. I can contact my backup. I can see who is on call. But also on the bottom actually there's dashboard actions, how we call them. And I can use them to actually perform different and various tasks in my environment without receiving an incident first. And I use it to actually stop this monitored service here. So it says stop spooler. I execute the action by entering my remote action pin. And now what we will also be able to track is the execution of the corresponding flow in HPE Operations Orchestration. So what you have seen in the app is just the flow in Operations Orchestration, and in a couple of seconds we should actually see a new message here. And now when I quickly jump back to the app, we will see a push notification coming in pretty quickly. So in the backend software of Enterprise Alert, we will actually see a tracking record that we can track in the web app as well. But what happened now is that there was logic that was executed. So we retrieved the alert from OMI, and a policy has applied in our system in the Derdack backend and created a IT alerting workflow to a team that is responsible to look at these printing issues. And in the mobile app you can see obviously I am the primary person here on duty, and the next stop, so the next person who would receive the alert is John Doe. And so I can perfectly recognize if declining here in the app is an option for me. Yeah, so you can see the next stop is John, and yeah, in case I'm in a personal emergency, I may choose to decline it with a comment to him, and then he can acknowledge it. On the other hand, you can see I can recognize the incident severity pretty quickly by this red bar here. I have basic information here on top, yeah, which is the same information that we would send in an SMS text message or in an email, for instance. What happened now is that the backend system has escalated channel-wise. So remember that I talked about multimodal notifications and with tracking and escalation. The tracking is also visualized here and you're made available and displayed in the web portal. So you can see the first push notification came in. This is what we have seen. And then now the software escalated onwards and sent me a voice call to my mobile device, because I have not yet acknowledged this alert due to my long talk here in this webinar. Yeah, so you can see a call came in. So that is tracking and escalations. Yeah, so the software escalated further already. Now the software has sent an email and so on and so on. Yeah, what I wanted to show you is that in the night you can see a reader view, so that removes all Chrome and all stuff that you don't need in case there's a lot of technical content like exception and stack traces that you forward in your alert notifications. And you can see here all the information coming from the third-party system in the app. Yeah, so these are all attributes from OMI and parameters from the incoming message in OMI, and you have it available in the mobile app, and you can select which ones should be displayed here. So you can select to see only the meaningful information to your here in the app. So with that, I would like to act that alert. You can see I can enter an optional comment here, and then it's a one-touch activity to actually acknowledge this alert. What happens is a timeline record is added, and the whole team, my colleagues, have access to this timeline and can actually see what I have done. Yeah, so this is actually automated notifications. You have seen that the OMI alert or message automatically arrives on my mobile device. Automation. You have seen it happen really quickly, in real time. This is what I told you on the first slide as well. And the target notifications is what I will explain later. But we have also seen multimodal escalations and a couple of notifications that came in on my mobile device. So that's for the information side of things. Now what can happen? It's possible that I have no clue how to troubleshoot this incident. In this case, I can easily collaborate with other people straight from this incident detail. So you can see I have tapped on the share and collaborate action item here, which opens a view of other people on call. So I can actually easily engage with a database person on call in case I feel that the underlying database is the root cause for my IT alert that I have received for my application, etc., etc. You can actually set up ad hoc conferences by selecting multiple people here on that list. So you can see the counter increases. I can easily share this incident via email with my teams. You can see there's an extract of that alert that you can forward to someone else in case you're busy in meetings or whatever. We can engage using Skype for Business pretty easily as well. So that opens the Skype app. All these kind of things. So there's rich collaboration capabilities. I can easily get in contact with my backup person on call, or with other team members. So you can see here in the system, I am a member in a lot of teams, but you can actually choose your team here, and then you can engage with all your team members as you want to. And also with the managers of a specific team in case you want to get an approval for a remediation plan, etc. All right. In case you select someone you want to call, and just to show you this experience as well when I yeah, select, I don't know, Ronald here, then you can see when I tap on a voice call, then yeah, I'm calling him with the phone, phone call app. And if I select multiple people, then actually I would get a call back, and then the conference is actually operated and run on our backend system. All right, with that, let's have a look on the remediation side of things. The third pillar, how that looks in practice. You can see there's a third tile that is displayed here, which is called remote action. So these are flows from HPE Operations Orchestrations that I have actually made available on my mobile device. Yeah, so you can actually allow selected users to access selected flows in your HPE Operations Orchestration from the mobile app that you see here in the screen. Yeah, so you can see there is a recommended action on top, yeah, and the action has the surprising name start spooler again. So this executes another flow that actually starts this monitored service, which is still failed again, and allows me to troubleshoot this problem thereby. What I haven't showed you so far is actually how we close the loop back to the originating system. So my acknowledgement has updated this record here in the source system, in this case OMI. So you can see, maybe you can remember, so there's now an annotation available here, and the status is also in progress. It's no longer open, yeah, or new. So when we load this event here in a new tab for more details, then when we access the annotation section here, you can see that we actually updated this record here in the third-party system upon our mobile acknowledgement. Yeah, so this happens automatically when a user acknowledges the incident. And then we also, depending on your configuration and your processes, we can also update the status here of this message to in progress and so on. So what I will do now is I will troubleshoot this problem, and by executing another flow that starts the service again that I have killed previously from the dashboard action. Yeah. So you can see here I kicked the flow off, then I have to be pretty quick here. Yeah, so you can see it's running again in HPE Operation Orchestration. It's completed, so now the Windows service is running again. And this should be, this has been detected by the policy. And now you can see there's a push notification update coming into the app telling me that the message, the corresponding incident, was closed in a third-party system automatically. Yeah, so that proves to me that my remedial action actually did its job, and that everything is fine up and running from the monitoring perspective again. All right. With that, there's other scenarios possible as well. So we could also make use of another remote action in case we feel that it's useful to have these kind of issues available for future lookup in the CMDB. Then we can actually also create incidents in HPE SM here manually in this example here. Yeah, so this is another remote action that we make available. In this case, we executed directly a call in HPSM's API. We create an incident here, and then we can see that there's a new incident that has been logged here. That this is the result of this action that we can see here. And if we type in this incident ID when we search, then we will see that this incident has been created here. From the mobile app. Yeah, so this is actually the default information from the parameters, and you can see you have it here in your HPSM system, and you created it from within the mobile app. Yeah, and again, this is all logged and kept in a timeline for future reference, so that you always have your audit trailing here of your activities, of your troubleshooting and incident handling activities available. All right. With that, I would like to move forward here and talk about how I've set this all up. Yeah, I would like to show you what's involved of getting this scenario up and running, how we can actually integrate an HPE software, how we manage the automated informations to this particular team, etc., etc. So by now you have seen the value that we offer with example use cases. And now I would like to tell you how you can actually set these things up in the software systems. So I will actually switch to the backend portal now. And this is the Enterprise Alert your administrative UI. I've showed it already, and what I would like to start with is showing you how we integrate into the HPE systems. So in our software there's a system node, and when I open it, you can see there's actually two tiles, event sources and notification channels. Both are required when you want to set up automated information with tracking and escalations for your HPE systems. So I will start with event sources. Your OMI and your network node manager and these systems, and also HPE Service Manager, from our perspective, are event sources. These third-party systems are systems in which we integrate, and then we actually retrieve the incident information from these systems. So what you do to connect your OMI, you can see I have an existing connection available here. That's why I will open this connection in detail mode. You will get the same view when you click on new source here and select OMI here, or HPE Operations Manager. So you will get the same view that you will see when I click on the existing connection here. So you can see this is the connection that I have created to an HPE OMI that I run in the cloud, actually, and a VM that runs in another data center. So you can see here I selected as a version HPE Operations Manager I first, and then I simply entered the fully qualified domain name of that OMI machine. What we do usually is then to add the remaining URL content automatically. That would lead us to the corresponding API, to the REST API, to the web service. So that works then automatically. In case you have hosted it somewhere else on the OMI machine, then you can actually have a look at the tooltip here to get an idea of the full URL that you would enter here. Then you can see there's access credentials. So there's a credential that I have created. So in OMI, I have created a dedicated user account. And activated the role for portal and incident management. So in the OMI system, what you should do is actually navigate to users, groups, and roles here. And then best practice is to create a dedicated user account for our software, for Derdack. And in this case, you can actually isolate permissions, and you can make sure that we only touch the records that we are supposed to touch. So you can see we have a permission here of a operations console and to access events here. And I have encapsulated these permissions in a dedicated role OMI REST API that I have created as well. And then I made the Derdack EA user member of that specific role. So that is best practice here. So you can enter then these credentials here in this section. And then you can select lifecycle mapping. So you can see our message changed the status to in progress here because I've selected this value here, and it changed the status to resolved after. It will change the status to resolve in case a mobile user closes an incident or an alert here manually in the app and does not let it close automatically by the policy from OMI. So this is possible as well, that you don't work with remedial actions and that you acknowledge it and that you then close it manually. And when you, with the app, and when you do that, you can actually select the status the item should get assigned from our Derdack system here in the connector configuration. So you can also then select the polling interval, and yeah, that's actually it. So then you click on save, and then we touch this API from OMI, and yeah, check the new available incidents that show up here in the event perspective. Yeah. And all the new information that we retrieve is what we log here in our software as an incoming event, first of all. Yeah, so that's how it is, how it works out. Yeah, and you can see, excuse me, so you can also see the previous event that triggered the policy. Come on. Yeah, so this record here, printing incident, it triggered a alert policy. That's that's a kind of a rule for implementing automated information. And yeah, as I said, all the update information from your third-party systems or new events from your third-party systems show up in this incoming events view. And by the way, you can also see this incident that I have logged from the mobile app came back from the corresponding connection to HP Service Manager and could have triggered another workflow, that you use to automatically send information to someone else, maybe. Yeah, so all the information from your third-party systems is logged here. And so when I quickly go back one more time to event sources, then you can see here that there's another connection to HP Service Manager. It's exactly the same approach. You enter a host name or a FQDN, then there is a credential, a custom user account here that I've created in the third-party system. I entered these credentials here. Then there is some status mapping, that you can select that we should set when closing the loop and when updating the third-party record. And that's actually it. A polling interval for new incidents, and then these incidents are logged on the incoming events. This is how you actually set up your event sources and integrate the Derdack software into your HPE systems. For the automation, of information and for tracking and escalations, what you also need is some notification channels. We have seen the push notification. We have seen a voice call that came in. This is what you configure under system as well, and then you open notification channels. Here in my environment, you can see I have some push notification channels to the Google infrastructure, to Microsoft infrastructure, and Apple infrastructure. And then I have an additional channel that allows me to do phone calls. We have seen this incoming phone call. So this is a voice over IP based connection that I've utilized, and I've entered the address of my voice over IP server. This is again some access credentials that I've entered here and things like that, and then I am able to do voice calls. So depending on the channels that you want to deploy, you should definitely create some tiles here, and then you can send push notifications. SMS text is possible as well. So you configure all these channels here in this notification channel section, and then you are able to actually distribute the messages and alerts to the mobile devices of your users and let them ring and do fancy sounds. All right. Once you have that, the integration into your HP software, and then once you have set up some notification channels, you would want to manage the people that should receive the notifications in a way that you typically make them responsible to get these messages in after hours. And in Enterprise Alert, we do that with OnCall schedules. So you manage the on-call rota of your team directly in the software. There's a calendar that you can utilize to maintain your schedule. And then the software automatically looks up the schedule and notifies the person from the team who's currently on duty. So I have opened a on-call calendar for a database team. You have seen the currently responsible person from the team is Kai. Yeah, this is what you have seen in the app. When I quickly switch to the app, yeah, so you can see here from the database team, it's currently Kai. And yeah, it's Kai because he has an assignment here and a slot in the calendar. And yeah, and the way that you can manage the calendar is simply by dragging and dropping people in here. Yeah, so you can see on the left-hand side, there's the team resources, the experts that you make responsible to look at your critical issues in after hours. And per drag and drop, you can plan the primary layer and the backup layer. And then if you also add backup people, then yeah, we escalate from the first person to the second person in case we get no acknowledgement, or the primary on-call person declines the alert. Yeah. So this is a manual approach of managing the calendar. It is also possible to do that in an automated fashion. In this way, you don't have to touch the calendar all the time. Yeah. Instead, you can actually let your team members rotate automatically. So when I drag and drop this bar here, then you can see there's a blue bar that is added. And when I click on Edit Rotation, and you can see in this dialog again, you can see the team members who participated in on-call. You can remove some users who are actually maybe new in the team or should not do on-call. Then you define the lengths each person should be on-call in days. Yeah, you can activate round-robin rotation. Yeah. So you can see actually that there's a preview of what happens then. So we make use of all the people that you have selected on the left-hand side, and then, yeah, everyone after each person had primary duty after the next handover, this person would get the alert last, and then the person moves up in the chain again until this person is on primary duty again. Yeah. And yeah, if you do that, then you don't have to touch the calendar actually so often, because we actually let your people rotate fully automatically. There's also a year view available that gives you a great idea of the overall completeness of the calendar, etc., etc. Yeah, there's PDF export. You can manage public holidays, and then you can apply notifications to these people at different times of the day in case a weekday is a holiday. Yeah, so the idea is to be able to quickly make someone responsible at a particular day or in a whole week. But the times on specific days that the person would receive notifications is what you actually set up here in this dialog. Yeah, and here you can see this is an after-hour on-call scenario where the scheduled resource would only start receiving critical issues starting 6 p.m. and ending next morning 9 a.m. because in the between time this person is supposed to sit in the data center and work with the business hour consoles, meaning your HPE software user interfaces anyways. But this all depends on your scenarios and how you wanna actually apply it and implement the software. There's also a Who's on Call view in the web application. We have a lot of customers who actually activate that in a mission control room, so to say, and then they have it on a large screen and can see who is actually responsible. And you can also get an idea of the escalation path for specific teams. So then we display backup people here as well, so you can get a great idea of whom to contact, maybe manually as well, or NOC staff may actually look at this as well, and then forward messages on a 24/7 basis here in case they do pre-filtering and all these kind of things. All right. Once you have your calendar complete, the last missing bit to apply the automation is to actually create an alert policy in the software. Yeah. So we have seen the incoming event, from OMI that triggered the policy, which is specifically responsible for routing printing related issues to a printing team. I will show you the details of this alert policy. Again, the UI is the same as if you open this alert policy section here and click on create new. So you can see the idea is that you first of all fine-tune and filter the source for which this policy should be active. So this particular policy is only looking at monitoring related incidents and the incidents that we receive from OMI. Yeah. So this is what you've defined first. And then you have the ability to actually apply some conditions. So here you actually are able to apply targeted notifications and to reduce the noise, to ensure that you don't send false alerts to your people. Here you actually set up the intelligence that ensures that you don't wake up someone in the middle of the night for not important messages, so to say. Yeah. So first of all, I ensure that this is a new incident that came in, not an update to an existing one. Then I isolate the spooler process. Thereby, I know that I should select a printing team here in the destination. You can actually also select conditions here and group them with logical AND or OR in case it gets more complex for you. And at the end here on the bottom, you can actually activate a duplicate suppression, with exceptions. So that means this policy would only trigger once in a specific period of time in case this incident is coming in again and again. A nice feature is also activating this checkbox wait for recovery. Yeah. In this case, we would actually not send them the push notifications, the voice codes immediately in case there is a basic condition match here. We would rather wait for a specific amount of time, usually, I'm not sure, maybe 5 or 10 minutes. And then if we receive an update from OMI that the problem disappeared itself, let's say a service restart that has been configured automatically more successful, then we don't send a notification, meaning we are aware of the issue and we know whom to notify and we are actually ready, but we give it some minutes to recover automatically, which is great in the middle of the night when you don't want to wake someone up for issues that disappeared then automatically. And we can also configure this policy in a way that it only triggers if a issue came in a couple of times. Let's say a ping failure. So then you can actually activate that you want to see this particular incident at least 10 times within a given amount of time. And only then you start waking someone up. So remember targeted notifications and also removing the noise and reducing the noise to your after-hours stuff is what you set up on the conditions here. Then on the destination, you select your team. In my case, I have only selected a demo team here. Imagine a printing team should be displayed here. And if you have conditions that isolates database-related incidents, then you select the database team here. So you can actually also select individual users or multi-team schedules in which you are able to actually schedule a lot of teams and apply follow the sun notifications. Don't want to go too much into detail here. Then I can fine-tune the alerting process a bit. You can also see I have selected the OnCall schedule lookup. So in this way, I configure the software in a way to access the calendar of the team as we have seen that, and then to send the notification to the on-call person first. I can actually fine-tune acknowledgement time limits. So here you actually enter the amount of time each user should have for providing that acknowledgement. You can actually fine-tune the notification channels that the software should use. And at the end, you format your message, your alert itself. And here you can actually work with third-party parameters again as well. So I have actually inserted some parameters coming from OMI here, and these are the yellow boxes, so that I actually know what happens here and which actually system is affected. And what's the system where the print spooler stopped. And as I told you initially, I can also select the additional third-party parameters that should show up or displayed and should show up in the mobile app. So here you can actually unselect or deselect actually not important things, and then you only look at the meaningful information from your OMI or from your SM, whatever system it is that the incident came in from. On the actions, I can flag remote actions as recommended ones, and we will see in the final part of the webinar how we can actually set up the remote actions. But assume that there is a couple of remote actions and flows that I have actually registered here in Enterprise Alert in the Derdack software. And the start spooler is the action that I have specifically attached to this printing problem type. So it makes sense to start a spooler in case it stopped. And if you click here, into this panel, you could actually also associate the incident creation as well to a recommended remote action, and then it shows up in the details immediately as well on the mobile app when tapping there on the remote action tile. All right, so that's actually it. If you've created these records and integrated these systems and created the policy, then you can actually set up these automated distribution of information from your third-party systems to your mobile stuff. User provisioning can be done manually or automatically. That depends a bit. Usually we work with Active Directory. So we actually open this tile and then select some groups from Active Directory that you want to import. Then we also create the teams, and from there on you would just actually go straight ahead and schedule on call. As you can see it here, create your policy, and then it triggers and sends notifications to the mobile users. All right, now what I also wanted to show you, as promised, is how you can set up the remote actions and the integration into HPE Operations Orchestration. First of all, I have to open the system node for one more time and open another section here in this case, which is the IT automation tile. So HPOO is an IT automation system, and that's why we can configure the connection to the software here in this menu item, or under this menu item. So you can see I have an existing connection here to HPOO, and when I click on it, you can see it's similar to the other HP software systems. And this time I have entered obviously a full URL instead of a fully qualified domain name. And that's the REST API that we use to actually read flows and to then also trigger flows that the mobile user selects in the app. So there's authentication that is applied as well. So there is a user account that you would need to enter here that is that has sufficient permission in HPOO to actually run the selected flows. And then it's really important to actually enter a library path here. So the idea is that you don't make all your data center automation flows available to Derdack or to mobile users, and instead you would configure our system to only look at flows or only touch flows under this library path. And you can see I have created an enterprise alert folder here in my library tree. And that means I place all these flows that I want to have in the Derdack system and in the mobile app available in this according library position or folder. So this is what you enter here. Now it's interesting to actually have a look at the HPOO flow designer here. So you can see this is the runbook stop spooler and the flow stop spooler and also a start spooler flow that I have created. It makes use of a PowerShell activity. It's pretty easy, and actually the properties of that flow also indicate to us that there is a input variable, the host name. So the flow is a bit dynamic. I could actually start and stop print spoolers on any given host, and the host that I want to work with is what I can actually also make available for choice on the mobile app itself. So if you create input parameters, then we can support them in the app, and the on-call person can select the value that it want to start the flow with in the mobile app. Other than that, you can see there's some authentication that happens here, and then I use PowerShell removing to actually execute a commandlet that says stop service spooler, or in the other flow start service spooler. It's actually pretty straightforward. And you can see in my library I created this path here, library, and then I created this folder enterprise alert, and I have placed all my flows that I want to have available in our software in this specific section here. Then I clicked on create a content pack, that generates me an XML file or a jar file where XML markup is inside. And then in the HPOO system, you may all know that already. I can navigate to content management, and our content packs. I can click this button here that allows me to actually add a new content pack, and then here I would select my jar file that I have exported from the Flow Designer, and yeah, once that is done, then in the Flow library you will see under Enterprise Alert the corresponding flows show up. And as you have entered library/Enterprise Alert in the configuration section here on our ends, that means that we will only look and work with look at these flows here in this folder. Yeah, so we do not touch any other flows at all. Yeah, this is pretty important to keep in mind. Yeah. So once that is done and you have activated this connection and you have created a flow or copied a flow, an existing one, into the folder that you have entered here, then you can actually author and map the flows that are available in your HPOO system to a remote action in our software. So in the backend, you first of all need to create a remote action. Yeah. And the remote action is then displayed on the mobile, in the mobile app for selected users. So when I click on remote actions, you can see I have a lot of actions, not only actions in HPOO, also actions in a task scheduler or in other IT automation systems. There's also the option to host actions on the Derdack system itself, on the scripting host component. Yeah, this is what you can do as well. Yeah, in case you have an HPOO in production, then it's definitely a great idea to actually work with the flows in HPOO. So you can see here, there's some remote actions for each flow that I have created. And when we open the Start Spooler action, then we can see how we can actually configure a single remote action. So first of all, we give it a name. Yeah, in case you have highly dynamic flows that allow you to start and stop services, in example, at the same time, depending on an input variable, yeah, like a parameter that has the name start or stop, then you can create multiple remote actions. And here on the action, you select one and the same flow. Yeah, this is possible, but I have created two separate remote actions here, which each use a separate flow. But anyways, you select the mobile app as the source from which you want to run the flow. It's also possible to actually send in emails or phone calls and then work with the keypad on the mobile phone to trigger flows, but we want to have it comfortable and use the app. And then so you select HP Operations Orchestration here as a target, for runbook or for flow execution. The rest is straightforward. You select the flow in your system. So here you can see the connection shows up again that we have created under System IT Automation. Yeah, and then the library path is displayed here again, Library Enterprise Alert, and then you select the flow that you want to run. Yeah, so you can see here the Start Spooler flow has been selected, and yeah, we recognize that there's one input parameter available, and I have inserted the default value of my FQDN where I stop the print spooler. If you actually add a semicolon and add a additional FQDN, then at the end in the app, what you will get here in the details for the incidents, when you tap on remote action and start, you would get a drop-down experience instead of a text box experience. So it's pretty straightforward to actually make it easy for your mobile users. And then under ownership, you actually select the user accounts in the Derdack system who should be able to see and run this remote action from the mobile app. And that's actually it. In case these users in their profile in the Derdack software have entered a remote action pin, then from there on they will see the remote action and they will then be able to execute that flow themselves to troubleshoot your environment and to neutralize really critical problems. Okay, there's a lot of more features and a lot of more information that I could talk about and explain and give you. Maybe at the end, to wrap all that stuff up and to get maybe some questions that you have. In the mobile app, you can see there is a settings item here. What you can do is you can select your push notification sounds that you want to work with. And you can also apply sending ringtones in the middle of the night. That's easy to don't wake the whole family up immediately. Yeah, so, but here you can actually select the push notification sound for the incidents that come in based on the severity of these items. You can activate a reminder of on-call duty, yeah, at given times that you subscribe for, and then you get an additional push notification to make yourself aware and to remind you that yeah, you are now on call, and yeah, that you may get new incidents from your HP systems. Yeah, so that's actually the additional features that you can configure here under settings. You can also integrate the on-call schedule into your calendar and on the phone app, yeah, by tapping on the status item here, and then you have your on-call duty assignments also in the calendar application of your mobile device.